Hello there, Itru here. Today we're going to be doing a brief guide on understanding city incidents. What causes city incidents in your cities? How can you decrease the chances of incidents? And how can you get rid of city incidents completely from certain islands? Let's have a look into this. So, city incidents can actually happen in production and housing. So if you want to actually understand how you are getting to your current state of city incidents, if you click on a housing or production building, in the upper left hand corner there is the exclamation mark. If you mouse over this, it'll actually give you a breakdown of how you're actually getting to each of these states of likeliness of having an incident. So over here we can see we have a moderate chance of fire due to there being a group of houses and buildings next to each other. There is a high chance of riots due to happiness. There is a moderate chance of illness. There are 3 upticks for surrounding buildings, working conditions, and heavy industry. However, there is a hospital near the actual housing, so that is reducing the chances. And there is a low chance of explosions in this current housing. Now, these will actually change depending on the proximity of the actual buildings around them and also on the tier of the actual housing. So if we actually have a look at the building here for the investors, these have slightly different ones, so they will vary depending on the current location of the actual individual housing or production buildings as well. Let's have a look at a production building. So if we have a look at the mines. So over here we actually have fire chance greatly increased due to productivity. There is a uptick because of working conditions. However, there is a downtick due to the fire stations. And again, high chance of riots because of working conditions. Happiness. However, there is a police station reducing it slightly. There is a very low chance of illness. And there is a very high chance of explosions because of productivity, working conditions. However, it is being reduced slightly due to fire stations. So we have a basic understanding of what sort of things can actually contribute to city incidents. What other things can we do to actually reduce the chances of the incidents? So we could reduce productivity for the fire chances. We could reduce working conditions for riots. Alternatively, there are some things you can do. And one of the basic things you can do if you want to get rid of fire, we have a slight downtick on the fire stations, or a very high chance at the moment. What happens if we add even more police stations around here? That down arrow has gone to a full solid green, and the fire chances are now very low. Now this is something you could do. However, it does get quite costly and it does take up a lot of space of real estate. However, it is an option and you can do the same sort of thing with police stations and hospitals. So, we now see that you can actually space buildings, reduce production, and place extra public service buildings to reduce the chances of incidents happening. What other ways can we do this? And that is through cultural sets, through the botanical and the museum or zoo, and also items that you can place inside of trade unions and town halls. So let's have a look at the investors over here. If you have a look at their incident chances, they have a very low chance of fire, no chance of riots, and the likeliness of illness is non-existent. How is that? If we have a look on here, there's a new item on here called item effect. So when you click on a production building or housing, up in the top section here are the buffs that are applied to this particular building. And the ones we're going to be looking at are the Saint Vision of the Valley, reducing illness by 50%, also reduces riots by 50%. The next one is going to be a botanical set, which is the Marshall and Garden set. That's reducing illness by another 50%. With that, that's a 100% reduction on illness chance. We also have Blitz, in a town hall as well as the Vision of the Valley. The Blitz is increasing happiness, which is always a bonus, and is also reducing fire, illness, and riots by another 20% on each of those. We also have a museum set, Empire of the Eagle. That's reducing fire, illness, riots, and explosion chances by another 10% as well. So all these on top of each other is contributing to such a low chance of city incidents for the housing around here. And you can place certain other item effects into your trade unions as well to reduce the chances of your production buildings as well. So, is it possible to get rid of working conditions completely from an island? Yes, it is. And how to do that is understanding that the city incidents have an unlock requirement. And the unlock requirement is to have 200 working force on the island. And this is either through physical housing on the actual island, or by putting down a commuter pier which shares the working force between islands. Now, there is the influence unlock for expansion, which can give you 200 working force for free as long as you have 300 points of influence spec'd into expansion. This does not count to the 200. It has to be physical housing or through the commuter pier. So if we have a look at the island here, there is 200 farmers on the island. So if we actually have a look at the incidents, there is low chance because of surrounding buildings on the housing, and on the mine we have high chance of fire over here. So see, there's no commuter pier. If I get rid of this one house here, that brings me to 190. There are no incidents that can happen on the island. Production? There are no incidents that can happen on the island. So, if you can utilize just the 200 free working force from the influence unlock, or start utilizing trade union items to actually reduce the working force on the production, you can actually have an island set up that has 0 incidents available on the island. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy it, do appreciate any subscription and likes on the video and channel, and comment down below if there's a particular guide you want me to cover next. Thank you all, and I'll catch you all in the next one.